Chrome OS flags. What are they and why should you care about them? But we want to get into that. Specifically, we want to tell you how you can go about turning them on and turning them off for your Chromebook and why it's kind of cool to mess around with these experimental features that haven't quite made it to the stable channel of Chrome OS. Let's hop in. So let's talk first about what flags are. Basically, these are experimental features, and I say that specifically because you got to be careful with them. There are going to be times where you turn on a flag and it borks something else that you need to do in your Chromebook. So what that really means is if you need your Chromebook for work or for school and you don't need it messing up, these are things you might want to try after hours and then turn them off after you're done with them. For the most part, flags seem to work pretty well. When you turn them on, they'll either do what they're supposed to do or they just won't do anything at all. But if you run into problems, we're going to talk about how to turn those off as well. You also may have seen us talk about like hidden features in Chrome OS when a new version of Chrome OS comes out. And they are hidden, but they're just hidden behind these flags. And so if you kind of know your way around using these, then you can kind of start trying this stuff out for yourself. And what you'll probably find as you do this is that you'll have a few flags that you're following and you're excited to see this thing work, and you flip the flag and it doesn't really work or it doesn't do anything at all. And then the next version of Chrome OS comes out and you kind of try it again, and you start keeping up with a handful of these feature flags that you're excited about actually coming out. And so it kind of becomes this fun little game with each new update of Chrome OS that you can go through and kind of look for different flags that are things that you're wanting to see happen in the OS and try them out and see if they actually work. So let's dive into the actual nuts and bolts of how you go about doing this. So open up a Chrome browser. It doesn't matter if you open up a tab, whatever. The minute you type in what I'm going to show you here, it's actually going to open up the separate window for the flags interface. So you're going to go to Chrome://flags. And as soon as you hit that, it's going to open up this separate window. And in this window, you can see I've got a couple flags enabled already. The nice thing is right here at the top, it's going to show you anything that you have enabled. So it will, even if you picked a flag, and you can see this list is extensive. If I were to select, say, reading list, for instance, and turn that flag on, the next time I load up this page, it's going to show that up here all the way at the top, so that I don't have to like scroll all the way down there and find that particular flag again. So it is nice to be able to quickly click in here and see right at the top, here are the ones I've already turned on, so that if you're having conflict or you need to turn something back off, you can find them pretty quickly. So let's find a flag. I'm going to scroll through here until I find something, and I will say this, that they're not exactly in order as far as like the date that they show up. I'm going to scroll all the way down to the bottom here. We'll probably end up finding something newer that we've not tried. There we go, snooping detection. There's the perfect one. This is one of those flag sets that every time I get an update to Chrome OS, I try it just to see if it works. It hasn't worked yet, but the idea here is that your Chromebook eventually is going to have the ability to have the smarts to, if you get up and leave, it's just going to lock your screen for you. And then if it sees like somebody's head behind you, it'll actually lock the screen or give you a notification that, hey, somebody's snooping on your screen, which is pretty sweet. It's going to be a cool feature. It just doesn't work yet. So you'll see, I'm going to go ahead and enable, I'm going to enable both of these for right now. And they've got, like, these have multiple features here. Let's see, dim 45 seconds, whatever. I don't know. I'm just going to enable them. And again, these are for developers really to try different things. So sometimes you're going to see enabled, disabled, and sometimes you're going to see a whole list of options for that particular feature. But as soon as I hit this restart, obviously the OS is going to restart. Now that doesn't mean the Chromebook is going to restart. It's not going to turn the entire Chromebook off and turn it back on. We're not getting a full reboot here. It's basically just restarting the Ash UI. So what amounts to completely quitting Chrome and restarting Chrome, except it's Chrome OS in this instance. So at some point down the road, once they do detach Chrome from Chrome OS, you'll be able to mess with feature flags for Chrome, the browser, and just quit Chrome and open Chrome back up. And then there'll be feature flags for Chrome OS, the operating system. When you mess with ones for the operating system and you hit this restart button, it's going to close everything on your screen. So if you're messing with this stuff and you've got something open or something unsaved, don't hit that restart. Like I said, it's not going to fully reboot your device, but it is going to close down the entire UI, which means it's going to close everything that's on your screen. It'll give you the option to restore when you come back up, but I wouldn't trust that. I would make sure and save your stuff before you start messing with this. Again, that kind of falls into the do this stuff after hours. Honestly, you'll save yourself a lot of grief. So we're going to hit that button now and pop back when it's done. Okay, so Chrome OS at least the interface anyway, has restarted at this point. So I can go right back to where I was, Chrome : / flags. And now you'll see right here at the top that we have the two new things that I added to my list. Those are right at the top, so that if I need to turn them off, I can do so pretty quickly. Now, as you can probably tell, well, you can't really tell on this video, to be honest with you, but the lock on leave and snooping detection isn't working. And so you're going to find this with flags. You're going to turn flags on. You're like, ooh, that sounds awesome. I'm going to turn this on. And it's just not going to do anything. It won't break anything, but it's not going to do anything. And so regardless of whether you find a flag that is either breaking something in your normal workflow, isn't working at all, like if it's not working with this particular update, it's not worth leaving on because it might be trying to work and causing problems in the background. So in general, if you're not using the flag for sure, like either, again, if it's broken or you just don't know what it's doing, it's best to go and turn those back off. And the same thing's going to happen here. So when we go back to default, so it's not going to necessarily be an off because again, you got to remember some of these flags are already enabled. Like they haven't gone and cleaned up after themselves. They left a flag in, and then the feature rolled out into the stable channel, and the flag's still there. So the default setting is what you want to leave these flags on if you don't know what to do with them. So if you've enabled something, you may have just enabled something that is already part of the OS, and that's why you're not seeing anything happen because it's already turned on technically. And so I wouldn't go turning things off specifically unless you know for a fact, like with that feature flag, I want that new feature. I don't like it. I want to turn it off as long as I can until it's rolled completely into the OS. So to turn it off, remember, you need to go back to a default state. So I'm going to turn both of these back to default. And you can see down there, disabled right there on the screen. That's not what you need to do. Go back to default because, again, some of these might be flags that are actually turned on. They're supposed to be there. They're meant to work. When you disable them, you're going to break part of the OS. And then I have the ability to restart here again. Same thing's going to happen. The whole thing's going to turn black screen and then come back up and you'll be ready to go. One other thing you need to think about with this is if you go and enable 20 flags, you go nuts with this, and then you're like, I don't know which one's screwing anything up. You can go through one at a time and disable them. Chrome OS is smart enough that if you continue to have issues, if like you keep rebooting and rebooting and rebooting and rebooting, eventually it's going to turn off those flags that are causing those issues for you. So you don't really have to worry about that so much. But if you get to the point where you're like, I don't really want to mess with this and I don't want to wipe my whole device, there's this nice reset all button right up at the top. So if you click that button, it'll actually reset all your flags, and as you can see right there on the screen, reset them all back to default state, and then you have this restart button down here at the bottom, and all your flags are gone. You're back to plain Chrome OS stable. One final note, if you're one of those that likes to check out the beta channel or dev channel or even the canary channel of Chrome OS, this process works the exact same across all of those channels. So you can turn on flags, turn off flags, reset all of them. The exact thing that we've talked about in this video will be true in all of those channels. It's just some of the flags will be there for certain channels and won't be there for other channels. So if you just kind of follow these steps, and if you're in any of those different channels of Chrome OS, all of this will work the exact same way. But guys, that's it for this one. If you enjoyed this video and you learned something, give us a thumbs up, head down there and hit that subscribe button, and be sure to ring the notification icon as well if you'd like to be alerted when we make future videos just like this one. Till next time, we'll see you.